This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. Hopefully you're having an amazing day in the market. I know a lot of people did not see the down coming. We did, tried to anticipate it, have shorts on. Again, as I told people over the last week, I eliminated all my long positions to square into shorts and layer in. So far, so good. Not surprised by the pullback. Again, reminder, it is OPEX. You have the debt ceiling. A lot of things that potentially could cause some chop. Let's talk about the levels. Please stick around to watch the whole video to try to understand the bigger picture, try to see what's coming. Because again, I think a lot of people get tunnel vision to watch the intraday charts. They miss out on what's going on the bigger charts, because a lot of people, again, seem very emotional. They didn't see this coming, not really expecting it, unsure of what to do next, chasing, just doing things where I think it's going to be hard for anybody. And as I've said 1,000 times, you know, a lot of people have this like perception that the market is easy, potentially, or maybe not even easy, but again, like trying to get insight from folks and taking it personal or getting frustrated if the answers aren't exactly what you want. But you have to remember, like, ultimately the market is your interpretation. How you're going to manage your money versus me versus everyone else is all going to be different. It all has to do with your personalities. And the thing that is hard for most folks is the emotional part of this, because I have this analogy in it, and I know it's for a fact that, you know, there's tons of great golfers out there, but the difference between Tiger Woods, say Phil Mickelson, some of the greats, Jack Nicklaus, it's all mental in the end. There's a lot of great, you know, traders, but they all blow up from mental mistakes. I mean, it's the same thing. You can know exactly what to do. And, you know, I had to kick someone out of the Discord room today. It was just getting annoying. Like, I've been here for 6 months and studying and learning. Yet the mental side has been completely ignored. And you can tell because of the way that they're handling their losses and their, I guess the best way to describe it is emotional instability. And I can't deal with that crap. If you're in the Discord room for long periods of time and you can't handle the mental side of this and don't have a thick skin, then I just don't have time to try to explain to you why I say things or why things, I mean, based on evidence. It's one of those things. I think a lot of people get caught up in the thought process of certainty or trying to understand exactly how something is going to play out. And that's the thing. We talk about probabilities. If it was that easy, everyone would win. And if staring at the intraday daily charts or intraday charts or staring at the present was what made people money, everybody would be rich. So again, if you want to join the Discord room, DM me, we'll talk about it. Again, I'm very picky and I'm easy to kick people out because, again, I want the people who are the best, who want to be the best, who honestly love trading the market for what it is, and also have like this deep-seated mindset that like they're not going to fail. And if the emotions control this, then it's guaranteed failure. It's just guaranteed. It becomes gambling at some point. Again, appreciate everybody. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me in the messages if you're looking to get in. I posted, I don't know, 30, 40 tweets today about what we're doing, what we're watching, the levels. Again, if you're following, please check out Twitter. Always trying to keep people updated, especially that Twitter and on Stock Twits. And thank you for the donations. Again, I mean, it's not required. I just think it's one of those things where if I charged $10,000 a month, people would take it more seriously. I'd do it for free. And I expect people to figure it out. You know, this is not a service where I tell you where to get in and get out. I try to give you my best insights. It's your job to execute it because, again, ultimately you hit enter and hit exit. No one else is responsible for your results other than yourself. And you want it that way, because then you can make yourself better and be a better trader. So again, I appreciate the donations, all of them, because again, it means something to me and my family. And I also know that you appreciate the insights, because your tuition bill hopefully will never be 7 figures like mine and a lot of other traders over the time, and, you know, up and down, and having to deal with the emotional volatility that comes from trading and the mental capital. And if you're newer, check out the Back to Basics room. That's where everything starts. Check out the video on, just literally on OPEX, CHOPEX. I mean, it's one of those things where, there's literally a video for everything. And I recommend that if you haven't checked it out, it's worth it. Every video has a purpose, because, again, the market is a reoccurring pattern sequencing Fibonacci algorithm that just eats up traders. Is it perfect? No. But there are repeating patterns to learn, and there are repeating processes and mindsets that you need to have to understand that the market is trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. All right, let's get into it. Bitcoin, talked about it yesterday, said, I don't necessarily trust the action up here. I'd like to see it break out over this level. We talked about 21.5. Watch the previous videos if you don't believe me, whatever. I really don't care at a certain point. I'm trying to give people the best insights, and that was, to me, the biggest issue here is that you can see clearly right here, this was the old highs, from November. And so backing off, not surprised. You go from, again, think about it too. You go from range lows to range highs very quickly. You're going to find sellers at the swing points in the volume at price zones. You can learn that, put that in a note, put that in your pipe and smoke it, know it. I don't know what the best way to describe for how you have to memorize things, but again, same thing. Straight line moves off lows and highs coming into resistance. Not always, 99.98% of the time we'll find sellers. At worst, chop. If it blows right through, it's usually news-based and probably fundamentally, again, I'm not really much of a fundamentalist, but something that people are willing and the market makers are willing to push higher, professionally gap it and go. Oil, concerned, said yesterday, watch this 81 area, made a higher high and then closed at the low of the days. I can't technically call it outside reversal candle because you haven't closed below yesterday's low. But this is not, again, things not bullish. And we're going to talk about this as we go to the market, that why expecting downward trajectory. Now, tomorrow could be up, Friday could be up. I think the trajectory is now down. So next stop, I would watch the 72 level. I really want to see the mid 60s. Again, they need to fill the SPR, so there is going to be a floor. I just think long term, I think you see very clearly there's a clear support here. And if the economy really goes ape crap and just dumps, could you see the low 50s? That's the worst case scenario in my opinion. I don't think we're going back to zero or whatever, negative futures. Nat gas, I've tried to be the bearer of bad news to everybody who says they want to buy it, and I know there's a huge short interest. I know everything says it should go higher. Swing points, price action. I don't know. I think there's just easier trades on there. I wish everybody the best of luck, and if you're trading UNG, for the love of God, be careful. Don't blow out your account trying to be a hero in natural gas. I've tried to be a hero in metals before, and it cost me. The dollar. We talked about the action today being a novice gap potentially, and look what happened. Closed at the high of the day. Not surprised it broke the 3-day range. Again, this is a repeating pattern. Fake breakouts, fake breakdowns are typically bear and bull traps. So this is a bear trap, and reversing is imminent then. If it's a bear trap, just like at the highs, bull traps. You made a new high, came back down, and then eventually again another new high, and then set the trap. That was just a novice gap. But do you see what I'm saying? It's very clear that we will have some rise in the dollar. It's just how much. The TLT, all right. Again, so dollar, bearish for the market, right? TLT, we'll see. Rates are what they are here today. I personally think that if you can, I don't know. We'll see. I could see rates going much higher and the market pulling back harder, or the rates pulling back. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's hard to know. We've said maybe the 200-day, maybe the 0.618. Remember the market and bonds kind of followed each other for most of the year. Now will that decouple with deflation near term? Man, I just think inflation is anchored until you get absolute smash city and market collapse and everything. And again, we might not even get that. The VIX put out an alert today, said watch the 18s. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. And again, it's kind of crazy. The market down 1.5% and the VIX not up huge. There's lots of room for a pullback here. So at this rate, again, it's ChopX. Could it come back down and chop around? I'd watch the 18-19 range. I feel like if you get that, you probably should be adding shorts. The SPY, you're welcome. I don't know what to say. Said beware of this. Could be an outside reversal candle and also turned into a left-right combo with cheese. You closed at the 50-day. We talked about the 391, maybe even down to the 386, 87 level. Near term, it feels like you will find some support down here. And if it doesn't, it cuts right through it like butter. Well, then so be it. Personally, again, I don't know if we'll get a multi-day range down. I would love to see a couple day, just continue smash city. I'd prefer, and again, this is me being greedy. I don't know. We talked about I talked about this very vehemently, that I'm getting emails, getting texts, getting phone calls. Hey, do you think I should put my money back in the market? I've been out. I've been scared. I'm not sure what to do. Now they're all calling. Now they're all calling. So I'm telling you, the sentiment's not right for to continue higher. So it could be just a pullback to chop. Or it could be, I mean, it could start in the next leg down. I don't know. I mean, as we talked about, 40-30 SPX. I mean, again, 40-30 got up there yesterday, approximately 30-60 for March straddles or March. JP Morgan has has a strangler straddle, whatever. And, you know, they have sold calls and sold puts. So just be aware. I think we could go into choppiness, especially with earnings. It can be bullish. Even though, again, remember, kitchen sink quarters. Remember going into this, a lot of companies announcing layoffs, announcing bad news, and they rallied. Well, have we hit the peak rally point? Tough to know. Tough to know. But at this point, I mean, it seems very likely we're going to pull back. It just, how many days in a straight line? I don't know. So trade around your core position. Again, shorting for the end of the world is a trade. It's not a long-term investment. So keep that in mind. Be thoughtful. Man, at this point, I mean, just you got to let some positions ride, and also know, like, sometimes the market could be flat and chopping, and certain things could be getting absolutely spanked. Keep that in your mind. Like, we'll talk about that. So things that aren't bullish, number 4. I mean, 5. I mean, it's like endlessly. Like, that is an engulfing bar. Took out all of last week's gains right back here. Could this all be related to the debt ceiling? Potentially. So if you do get the debt ceiling news, be aware. Like, usually that sell the rumor, buy the news. Like, the market maker is going to use the liquidity to probably cover, potentially. Or this gets dragged on. This is where it gets hard. And again, if you short it up here, you've got breathing room. If you're now shorting now, man, you are in a world of pain and mental anguish. Q's talked about it, this range. Man, it got up to 280, 469? Talked about this area. Maybe even the 0.382 didn't do it. Engulfed outside and turned around. I mean, it could be just a couple days, or it could be the start of a smash. Either way, we talked about the IWM potentially like opening up here. I mean, this is not bullish, y'all. It gets into the range, and then DIA, we talked about it lagging, which had been leading, right? Like, this has been leading. Well, look at this. I mean, yesterday we're like, something's wrong, and then boom, more continuation down. Nothing right now looks really bullish. Hope that makes sense. So, I mean, at this point, I personally think, if you're not short, I don't know. You gotta wait. I don't know. I mean, it's just hard. It's just really hard, because that's why we try to get in near the inflection points, because we know things can move fast. So again, I anguish with the exact words, because I know someone will go out here tomorrow and they'll short the market, probably at the lows tomorrow, and then it'll rally, and they'll be like, well, you said the market was going to dump, and then they'll hold it and they'll get wiped out, or they'll get hurt really hard. So you try to anticipate the moves. Whatever. Again, I can't help everybody. Gold, we talked about resistance up here, this gap, this area. Now again, you're trying to be perfect, ideally, but opened up, closed at the lows. Again, we need to watch this 177 area. I told you all I was shorting gold, and 99% of it has to do with the price action and the sentiment. Everyone's getting bullish after a monster run. The price action starts getting stagnant. Silver starts lagging. The miners start melting. It's just an easy trade. Now, again, is it going back down to the range lows? I hope to God it does. But if it doesn't, again, I won't probably press too much from here if we get down in the mid 160s to the 170 range. That's just the trade. Silver, we talked about it, lagging. Again, lagging the last couple days. As gold was making new highs, what is silver doing? Consolidating to what? Increasing volume, open at the high, close at the lows. That stuff isn't bullish, y'all. All right, we bought dust, right? We're talking about the GDX and the miners. Talked about hitting up. And remember, I said this very distinctly in the video yesterday. I said, I love when the fibs line up. I love when the fibs line up with support resistance. That typically is the finish of the move, the completion of the move. Algorithms are running it. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is like classic. I mean, now this is an old fib right there, but here it is. 0.382, boom, 0.618. How many? Man, I got so many. You can see them. Hold on. I got so many. Give me 2 seconds. Let me close out some of the, just so it's very clear. I'll close out some of the older fibbies. You don't need to see all that. I mean, I probably will, but here you go. Oops. Look at this. Come on. Why are you not? Give me it. Draw. Draw. There we go. Love it. Love it. 0.618. 0.32. I'm sorry, 0.5. Look where the 0.618 is. I mean, that is just like, mwah, fantastico. Bellissima. I mean, that's just amazing. I love it. So it feels right. So dust is the trade. Just, again, I mean, here we are. We close right above this, like, support zone. See what happens. GDXJ. Same kind of thing. Chop it and then boom, takes it out. I haven't done the fibs on it, but I'm assuming it doesn't really matter. I mean, at this point. AG. Again, expecting down. How long, how much, we'll see. I mean, again, there's nothing safe. When they pull the rug, I say this all the time. You know, the trash floats last and nothing is safe. Hopefully you start to learn that and you don't get caught just holding and bagging things. Talked about AG needing to be up in the 10s, and it just hasn't. And then look what happens today. Now we're back at the 100-day. Things that aren't bearish or bullish for the metals and miners. AEM holding up high. Got to hold up over 54. Newmont, J Solstice, my man. I can't remember who else is in it. Congrats. We talked about it getting up into the zone and dying. There you go. That's looking right. Again, it could chop a little bit, but I think that would be the added on the short. People love the miners, again, at the wrong times. They don't love them when they're down. They love them when they're up. Look at PAAS. Hits the 200-day. Doink, rejects it. I mean, all this stuff is just pointing to down. But it doesn't have to go down every minute, every hour, every day. No. AMD, we talked about it. Popping, holding here. Here we go. Hits the resistance. Looking good, my friend. NVIDIA, we talked about it. Up mid-170s. Got a little higher. All right. I mean, I think you can short that. I think that's a gap fill. Yep, it is. SMH added some SOXs today. If you saw, paying attention, down in like 27 area. Again, everything looks like it's going to roll. It's time. I mean, I wouldn't call this outside reversal. Looks a little better, but we'll see. I mean, it makes sense here. Even if it's just a couple points, you won't be complaining. Adobe. Talked about sideways action, really hard to tell, moving right along. Apple, now here's one that we talked about popping and being aware of, just like, hey, we're in this resistance zone, right, in the mid-130s. Long wick, close at the low of the day. I mean, could it come back to the 50-day? I mean, again, earnings is coming. Be careful. Amazon, like what they're doing with the Chat GPT, holding all their servers, but, I mean, again, you go from 92 up to almost 98. I mean, again, or 82, and we bought this down here, remember, near the 20-day on this day, and then the backup. Congrats. Traded around it, didn't make a ton of money. I mean, 5 points for me. I mean, some people may have been 10. Was just trying to trade it. Again, didn't really trust the market, but hey, now it's up here. Let it pull back. I'm telling you, just trust. CRM, that does not look good. Gets up, stuck under the 100-day, around, and then if it peels, watch for the 50-day. Goodbye, maybe. Googs. Again, tech is just like in this weird trading range. It's just not gonna be easy. Hits above the 50-day, closes at the low of the day. It doesn't look terrible, but I'd be watching the 91s. Meta like a high me ho. We talked about it, watching this upper zone. You know, we thought this would be it, but then it was like, well, if the market continues to rise, then it's got the next zone. And look where the zone is. Boom, it hits it. Starting to roll over. Roll over, little doggy. Maybe. Microsoft. Mr. Softy Ice Cream. Again, announcing layoffs. This thing is so overbought. If you look at the monthly, like, it's got so much room to drop if it's ready. It's not really that good. Hits 100-day and it's whoosh, takes out 3 days. And 50-day broken, 20-day. We'll see. NDAQ, I think some people shorted it. Congrats. Hit the 50-day. I mean, I didn't personally take it, but I like that candle. Big volume, opens, and then close at the low of the day. If you're short it, I mean, the thesis I've been talking about for what seems like years, but it's been months. It looks good. MicroStrategy. All right, Bitcoin's peaking. This candle is not good. That does not look good to me because that's an outside reversal. I know it filled the gap and closed above it. Oof. That's not very good. We'll see what happens. Coin, someone asked me to check this out. Ready, set, sell. Today's candle, again, a nice little double bottom. I think we talked about it, and he said same thing. Professional gap, sweet. Nice run. I mean, at this point, you hit the 100-day. After that kind of run, I mean, it's not surprised to pull back. It goes from 31 up to 56, 7. Wow. Nice trade. Well, that candle is not bullish. Outside reversal, closing. Again, now, the next support is obviously going to be 50. If it breaks below it, I don't know why you wouldn't come back to 44. Then the next support maybe down in the low 40s. 39. I mean, this thing, who knows? I have no clue. Netflix, we talked about this hitting up into the 330s. You're welcome. hits it, backing off. Again, everything doesn't really look that good, does it? Is it now? Roblox gets I guess what might technically be good news on their numbers, and then look at the action. Pulling back. See what happens here. Again, I hope you took profits on your longs. Tesla, I mean, it got a lot of questions. Oh, this is bullish, is going higher. I was like, well, just watch what happens today. And then started watching it and was like, oh, that's not bullish. And then it got, it kind of filled this gap around here, whatever, 137, and then it just opened high and was like, so watch the 20-day, watch the 123, 121. Again, everybody wants to own Tesla, and that's not how you bottom. You don't bottom like that. I'm just telling you, this could be a sideways, choppy, sloppy mess. Whatever. That's what people do. X, we talked about materials starting to look toppish, right? All right, here we go. Getting choppy at the highs at X. Nucor, talked about it hitting the channel, or not channel, the range highs. It looked lower high, closed below it. Doesn't look bullish. Things that aren't bullish. VALE, flat for the day, but can't get over the highs recently. I mean, just keep an eye on it. I mean, everything is starting to paint a picture. I think Arrow was up a point or two. Yeah, look at that. I saw it earlier, up big. Right, closes back in below the lows. That might be an outside, bull trap. I mean, look at the volume there. That's not very good. At worst, that means it's coming back to the 20-day. CCJ, someone was asking about that. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, when you can't get over levels that matter, look what happens. And then it just goes, that's bearish. Now, again, we don't know if it's going to go screaming back down to the lows and the recession full-blown goes nuts. But, again, take your profits. CF, again, my dirty little secret was hoping that it fails at some point up here in the 86s so it comes right back down to 80. Well, today's candle makes me feel a lot better. Lower high, lower low, fail the 20-day. You're welcome. Mosaic, we talked about it, popping, probably should take profits. Man, another long wick. I remember seeing this up, and then it's gives it all back. Be careful. NTR up $1. I mean, hit up to 79 today. Look at this. Long wicks pointing down. We'll see. AA. This thing was up and hit basically our price targets, right? Got in there. Opens up at the highs, close below. Outside candle-ish. Be careful. That's all I can say. All I can say is please be careful. You got to take profits the more you're up. This isn't a bull market. Anybody trying to convince you this is a bull market? Banks, one of our best shorts. I mean, Soxus was a nice entry today. Look at this. Rallies on JP Morgan's and then boom. And then gaps down today, closes under it. Things that aren't bullish. JP Morgan. Talked about yesterday how it gapped. And then I said this morning, watch what happens with the gap down. It fills the gap and then goes. Keeps going lower. Our good friend Goldman Sachs. Now, I know people are going to say, well, it was flat today. Well, look what happened yesterday. Absolute crap show. Shiitake show. And look at that. Man. Okay, it hammers inside day. I mean, is that really bullish? No, it just looks like oversold. Goes from 374 down to 343. It pops with the market, and then maybe there's some short covering. I don't know. It doesn't really look that great. Wells Fargo, just curious. Yeah, outside, look it up. Telling you, I like the financials. Shorting FAS. If you got Morgan Stanley today, I thought about it. Was watching it. Congratulations. We talked about it hitting our channel highs. Is this a novice gap? It has to get filled at some point. We'll see. Love it. XBI. We talked about it. Range highs. Had that long wick. Look, another long wick. It takes out the 3-day range. Takes out this could be a trap. Bull trap. In formation. Potentially. Again, remember it's OPEX, so take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to eat the salt, but just think about it. Remember, it could chop a little bit. TAN makes another high. Tries to get up there. All right, we'll see. ENPH, people are telling me I think this is the bottom. It's going higher. And we talked about bottoming, taking out the lows as a trap, rallying back to the 200-day. Okay, it's holding up better. Watch the 200-day. I mean, it's real simple. Sedge, flat. Back at the range highs. Not much to say. I mean, First Solar, if you shorted this, congrats, and you've been trading around it. We talked about it, trading around it. Now, I mean, I said all day, not all day, I think I said in the afternoon, I was like, watch what happens if it gets in the 177, 178. Okay, now you could add a little more. And if you traded around it, and we talked about shorting it, up in here, up in the 180 plus, and you got your 6-7 points, and you want to take a little profits, which you should have, which we did. now you can add it back. And that's what we were doing at the close. Keeping it simple, stupid. You check out the hourly, because I think this is where I was kind of eyeing things for the afternoon. If you see like that same, like you can see where this level matters. Like it was resistance, resistance, gapped over it, then it broke it, was support, resistance, resistance, comprende? I mean, that's kind of the stuff you're looking for. And so at that point, I mean, and again, maybe here you go. Here's what might happen. It might not look pretty, but then when it goes, it goes. Again, getting whatever 75 upgrades at the highs is not usually the buddy pass times infinity. Oil. Again, we talked about earlier in the video. Like, this is not what you want to see if the market wants to rally. Is oil open high and just get throttled? UNG, for the love of God, I don't know how to tell people just to leave it alone. This thing just looks like crap, and it could just keep going lower. But hey, you know what? If you have stops and you want to do it, that's on you. XOP, talked about today, taking profits at the 50-day. Talked about it yesterday at the 100-day too, but again, the more you're up, the less you own. Like, again, that's a nice move. And if oil and gas don't look good, ooh, well, look at that candle. Again, things that look bearish, everything is starting to roll. Now, again, if tomorrow chops, don't go, oh, the market's not dumping. Have in your mind, no. Potentially what's going on here. Do you retest or chop potentially before you go lower? That is absolutely possible. To draw in what? More bulls and to trick more bears. Like, you got to remember, the market's trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. ExxonMobil, that's not bullish. Took out multiple days of rising. Keep it simple. Oxy, we talked about this looking kind of fugly. That's fugly, y'all. Hit the 100, hit the 50, and then bam, close right back at the 200-day. Bam, like Chef Emerald. Not pretty. EQT, you think that thing, I mean, it tries to rally over the 20-day, gives it right back up. Not things that, again, if it breaks 33, mid 33s, it could get slam jammed. PXD, let's end it there. Lower high, boom, engulfs down. Again, this could be the choppy way down. Remember we talked about the market, or it could be just a flush. Either way, short was the trade. Congratulations. Manage it. Please, you're not going to get rich shorting forever. Remember, the end of the world is not a very good bet to bet on. It doesn't typically happen. It's been wrong more times than not. Again, it is a trade, though. And so congratulations. If you're understanding this stuff, you're watching the recaps, even if you're not involved in the Discord room, honestly, you don't really need to. That's why I'm always like trying to be very transparent and try to give as much information as I can. And if it doesn't, it's because it's hard to update everybody all the time on everything. And I really try my best. Again, I'm a real estate agent as well, helping out clients. I'm doing the best I can here, trying to have 1 or 2 deals close a month and then help you guys and gals following. So I appreciate the support. And as I've said multiple times, donations are appreciated, helps support the channel, keeps me wanting to help you. Because again, I swear to God, if I charged $10,000 a month, people be in the Discord room, they would follow everything to a T. And there'd be 5 people in there. Well, I've always thought it's better to open it up for free. And then the people without money who are willing to work hard and willing to learn, those will be the people that I'll see in the end. It'll be my friends. And again, they will have gained a knowledge that they own themselves. And again, you don't fear competition in the market. So the market's trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Like, we're going to be wrong. We were trying to be right 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 if lucky. And then when you're wrong, you're wrong. And here's the thing, like how you manage your discipline. I've tried to explain to people, again, I like shares. I don't like buying options on the first touches. I like to and if I do buy options or stock, I layer in. And if I do buy options, I try to buy in the money. I try to give myself time, and I don't try to get cheap on options where they can go total losses. And again, what's the right trade for everybody? Everybody's account balance, everyone's emotional stability, everybody's ability to watch the market. There's no right answer. It's what works best for you. And for you to figure that out is a journey that I'm willing to walk next to you on. But again, don't lead me, don't follow me, walk next to me. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what you can need to do and how I can best help. But if you're going to be emotional, and instability with the emotional part of this, I'm telling you, trading doesn't matter what you're told, what you're taught. It's like people who get into a emotionally damaging relationship, they stay with someone for years, and it's the worst thing that they could do, and they just still do it because what? It's emotionally based decision making. And I'm telling you right now that there's tons of people, don't even realize it, that when they look in the mirror, and they won't do it, and it might take them years, or they'll probably flop out first, they will not look in the mirror and go, just like I had to, Dan, you were the cause of all your own problems. The market's doing what it's going to do. Why are you not following your rules? Why are you sticking with losers? If something's not working, why don't you pivot? All of these things that seem so obvious that we talk about are the hardest things to do sometimes. And we, as Eric and I love to say, the hardest things are sometimes the best things to do. And they are. So hope I can help. Again, I thank you for the donations. I appreciate them all, and keep them coming. Like I said, if you want more content, you want specific videos, I've always said this 1,000 times. The more you get involved and donate, the more that I am available to give you the information you want. Because people who just ask to ask, it seems very, what I would say, like lazy. It's like, hey, I want to be rich, or I want to do this, or tell me how to fish, or tell me how to do it, without doing any work. I know the people who are donating are typically doing all the work, and they're succeeding. Or if not, they're incrementally getting better, and they're seeing the vision of the future where they're going to own real estate. They're going to have passive income. They're going to use the market as a system to pull money out and extract, so that they have FU money, mailbox money, the ability to pick and choose their schedule and live a life that most aren't willing to put the effort into. Again, everyone wants to get rich. Everyone wants to be successful at trading. But will everybody do the work necessary? All right. Again, Dan Max, eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, signing out. Thank you again for all the love, support, and likes, subscribes, retweets, all that stuff. It matters, right? Like I said, because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that could have been you, and you would not have found it without someone else retweeting or seeing it somewhere else. Because again, it's interesting how the channel in itself, I think, will never grow big, but that's perfect. It's not meant to be. We're not trying to teach everyone how to do this. We're not Jim Cramer. All right, later.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.